You want to make an emotional connection
Yes.
with your customer, because that's how you're going to differentiate. At the end of the day, they are paying you for a 5-star experience.
Hey, plumbing pros, welcome to the 452nd episode of Potty Talk. I'm your host, Richard Bainey, the $1 Million Plumber. All right, usually along with my co-host, the lovely Laura, but I'm flying solo today. So you're stuck with me on Potty Talk here today. And so I do have the little bobblehead. I got the little Laura bobblehead here saying hello. Hello. Welcome to Potty Talk. There we go. Okay, all right. Hey, it's good to have you here. Hey, got a great program here for you. We got Caleb Baitz with 2 Year Success with us here, and talking about providing gifts. Okay, in fact, they do sweets. Okay, this is going to be a sweet episode. I'll say that. Stick around. This is a sweet episode. You're not going to want to miss it. So it's good to have you here. Specifically here, I'm excited to have our guest on with us here. Caleb Baitz with 2 Year Success, all right, is with us here today. Let's bring him on board here. Hey Caleb,
Richard,
how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, man. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. This is exciting. So,
all right. Well, I've been excited to introduce you, to our listeners and followers, and to the $1 Million Plumber family here, because it's very important. We talk about this a lot, that really we're really not in the business of plumbing, even though that's what we do. Okay. But we're really into, we're a marketing business and we're a recruiting business. But today we're talking, but we're on the marketing side of things here. Okay. Yes. And so we're really we really have to understand, how we market to our customers, and we get, the idea of marketing up front, right? Doing Google ads and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And showing up here and there. But we often forget, I know I did, the idea of, okay, we spend all this money up front to get these customers, okay? We want to keep all these customers.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
So there are ways, what can we do? Okay, first of all, we need to focus on that. And then what can we do to keep those customers and that they remember us?
Absolutely. Well, as well as anyone, that when you look at the beginning of when you started your company, what was your number one source of new business, really?
Yeah.
Who was it? How were you finding new customers?
When you start out, we all do. It's friends and family.
Exactly. Yes. Right. It's strong relationships. You treated every customer like $1 million because they literally represented the connection between the next customer that you were going to meet. And it was all through relationships, right? Mutual trust. And so, it's like none of us, when we're starting out, we have the finances or time to have billboards and advertising, all these marketing efforts. The success was the only reason you stayed in business, and all of your listeners are in business, is because they have strong relationships. There is mutual trust and there's energy in those relationships. So yeah, absolutely. When you talk about, a marketing that these companies are really doing marketing, I think you nailed it, because here's what they're doing, Richard. Every one of us with our businesses, we're building our brand. And what is a brand? It's your name. It's the original brand of Richard. It's your name, right? Of Caleb. It's my name. When people hear my name, what do they think of? What do they feel? If you have a good name, it's going to go through the community, and you're going to build more and more connections. And if you have a bad name, it's detrimental, right? You're going to crash and burn. The same is true with our business. When people hear our brand name as a company, it's like, what feelings come to mind? Do any feelings come to mind? Are they energized? Because that energy, I think, and this is the key, is an energized, healthy relationship. It leads us to new relationships. It's like, if I have an energized customer, they're going to go out and talk about me, right? They're going to be an advocate on my behalf, because they're really connected. They want to see me be successful. They care because they know I care about them.
Yes.
And so I just think you're absolutely right that at the end of the day, you're marketing, you're building a brand, and you're building on top of relationships. And all too often we can lose sight of that over time. As we grow, you get busy, you're under new pressures of ideas from other people, or even budgetary constraints, where you start looking at things differently. It's like, what originally made us all successful was strong relationships. And I think we've got to champion that in our brands as we continue forward.
Right on. That's what, we work on this a lot, and I know you're going to be, in fact, you're going to be speaking to, our Academy members here in a couple of weeks in one of the open
that'll be fun.
classes. Yep, and look forward to having you in that. And we'll dive deep there, okay? But we talk about, and of course, they're already used to the concept of that they're a marketing business as opposed to just plumbing business, but also the mindset of going from a mindset of transaction to an experience. That this is, that's plumbing, but it ain't about plumbing. That's what people, hear me say, it ain't about plumbing. It's not, your business isn't about plumbing. It ain't about plumbing for you to be successful. And it's not the plumbing transaction, but the experience, that whole experience. And we say all the time that no one wakes up in the morning what's called a plumber. So the experience is already uncomfortable. So we want to make them comfortable. And so there's things that we do that we make it to where it's, it's a slam dunk. We want to taking care of them. But we also want to keep them, want us to call us back to remember us.
Right.
All right. And they're not going to, if it was just a transaction, anyone can do the transaction.
Oh yeah.
We want to be the friend that has the ability to take care of them.
You want to, you want to make an emotional connection with your customer, because that's how you're going to differentiate. At the end of the day, they are paying you for a 5-star experience. I mean, if I had a plumbing problem and I go to Google or I talk to my friends, I'm not asking them for a 3-star company. I'm looking for a 5-star company. My expectations are 5 stars. I'm letting you into my house, near my family, working on my most prized investment, my home, and I want a 5-star experience. And so, it's a high challenge to say, okay, well, how do we then create an experience? Well, an experience, really what you're saying, Richard, is what are ways that we can delight, that we can do something memorable at all these little touch points. And it's not just right after the sale or right before the sale. It's every touch point along the way. What is their experience like when they call us, when they talk to our team, our CSRs, and what is their experience when we walk in their home? And then, what is the experience after the fact? Because, it's almost like a 5-star experience tees up the opportunity to really delight and blow the customer away with something a little extra. And I think every touch point you're looking for that, like, how can I make this not just a 5-star first phone call with our company, but how can we show a little bit of emotional connection and teach our team, hey, listen for a way to connect with the customer on an emotional level and just show that you care about them, show that you understand, hey, I understand this is, this plumbing problem is really throwing a kink in your day, and so we want to help. We want to be there for you. I mean, little things like that. It starts connecting with people at a human level instead of such a stiff, static, just getting the job done level.
Right on. You must have gone through the academy. You sound like you ought to.
Well, thank you. Some of this stuff, I think it's natural for entrepreneurs because they know you can only survive whenever you're building strong customer relationships. I think the challenge is when you start growing and you're trying to build a self-sustaining business, you have to hire things out. And so you start having other influences come into your company. And I think it's really important to keep championing the importance of strong human connections whenever you start feeling that pull of, oh, we need to start, focusing on all of our hard metrics. And I'm not saying hard metrics are bad with marketing, but you've got to start looking at, still keep a vision for qualitative metrics. Like, how do people feel? What are they saying? Are we listening to customer feedback?
Right on. So let's get to, to your success. You provide the gifts. In fact, you provide, I kind of gave a little hint, sweet gifts. So you're all about giving cookies.
Yeah.
And which I love that. But I also want to say, part of this thing is we're growing. How do I systemize this stuff so I don't spend my whole time just dancing around doing all this stuff? That's another thing I love about To Your Success, and I want to get to that. How To Your Success makes it easy and simple, systemizes the process that you can be loving on your customers without spending a lot of time doing it. But I want to know, how'd you choose cookies? What
Great
cookies?
Question.
And I want to know too. And you focus on the trades. So I know we're plumbers here, but I know you do HVAC, electrician, but you're focused on the trade. So how'd that come to be?
We're still a family-owned and operated company. It started 27 years ago with my father-in-law, Jim. He is he's a very relatable, down-to-earth person. He really cares about others and making others successful. He hasn't ever met a stranger. And so he actually sold motorhomes for a living for many, many years, and decided to at one point go out on his own. And the concept was he remembered, he wasn't sure what business he was going to start, right? But he remembered when he sold a motorhome, they would send a cookie gift package after the sale as a thank you. And he remembered how many times customers, after spending, $100,000 on a motorhome, all they would talk about is, "Oh my gosh, you guys sent me a dozen cookies. We love
Right.
them. How do we get more? Thank you for thinking of us." I mean, there was really a natural element of delight there. And he's honestly a cookie lover himself. And so that's a very attractive business idea then, as to start a cookie company. But he has a close friend named Vaughn, who was worked with Mingledorff's. That's an HVAC distributor in the Atlanta area.
Mm.
And Vaughn said, "Jim, you need to think about maybe trying this in the home service industry, and see if this would be a fit." And we thought, well, that, it's just too different from motorhomes and car sales, but the reality was we jumped in with a couple of his own customers, and it took off. I mean, and here's the reason: residential home services is powered by relationships. I mean,
Yes.
at the end of the day, it is really built on that foundation. And so, we realized, wow, there is a need here. There's all kinds of gift companies, but there's a need inside the trades to be able to do this just more easily, to accomplish this more easily and consistently. We've had people over the years ask us, why not do other kinds of gift packages and things? And the cookie has stayed true. I mean, it's universal. You're hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't like a freshly baked cookie. And, I think with food as well, people have asked about, well, what about like gift cards? What if we just did some kind of gift card or flowers or something? With food in particular, you're connecting with people at a very human level. And, you think about when you eat food at celebrations, at your birthday
Yes.
parties, anniversaries. Um, those are moments that you're celebrating, and those are people that you're celebrating. Even with a good friend, I mean, you break bread over the dinner table and you connect with people relationally that way. And so we just think that's a great avenue to delight customers. And to be honest with you, the big vision here, though, is to combine that with brand cues, like your brand color, your logo. We want that flavor of that freshly baked cookie and that feeling of eating that to be connected with the brand, your name,
Yes.
right? And so that's a really important element, is to link those two together.
I love that. I love that. And so I love, so it's all systemized, and can we give a
Oh
peek,
yeah. Yes.
into that, because that is part of the concern, right?
Yeah.
Of spending, having all the time to focus on that. But, we're all about
Right.
systemizing things,
So that's a great question. And, we'll talk about this more later, but from a high level, the real goal with any marketing is consistency. It's not about making a big splash once and done and seeing if it works.
Right.
It's little decisions over time, little touch points over time that really pay off in the long haul, So with consistency, we saw a need that, hey, we need to automate this for contractors. And so it's kind of funny, we're half cookie business, but we are half software company, because you think about just getting all
Yes.
those names and addresses in and being able
Right.
to determine where they go and make sure that it's, you're not sending a gift to someone you didn't intend to. So we've built out connections with all of the different softwares like Service Titan, Field Edge, where when you mark a job complete, we receive that packet of information, and then based on your automation rules, we send that gift, bake it fresh, send it direct to the customer's doorstep. So, because consistency is key. When you get busiest is the biggest opportunity to make the most impressions. But then
Yes.
when you're trying to do it yourself, that's when it all falls through the cracks.
Right on. And so it's systemized. So it's a no-brainer.
Yes.
Right. And we're loving on our. And there's so much here. I want to go deep, but this is not the place to go deep on this.
Yeah.
Because I love the thing of, you mentioned gift cards, and this is the kind of thing we talk about, this kind of stuff. Why can't you just do a gift card or that,
Yeah.
all that kind of, there's no emotion there. The key is creating the emotion. And I know it's so simple. And we find this in the other processes, with running a successful plumbing business. The processes really are simple but you got to have the process in place. The math has 2 + 2 = 4. You can close 90% of the customers who call you if you just do the right things, do these simple things. All right. You don't need special jargon or, jump through hoops. And even this kind of thing, it's so simple, a cookie. And I love that. And it's so basic. It's so, I hear, I'm kind of, my mind's all over the place on this, Caleb, because I hear, because I try to get with these guys, and I was that guy. I was that guy once too. But it's the plumbing. They're going to love me because of the plumbing. It has nothing to do with the plumbing. It's all in this relationship and the emotion through this whole process. And can we turn the negative emotion, which it is a negative emotion? I have a plumbing problem. No one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber. Right. They know they got to spend money, and so they're uptight. How can I? Well, there's things that are simple things to do up front that will turn that around as you as the hero. And then you want to keep that emotion after the fact. And you keep that emotion after the fact. They will tell their friends. They will brag about you. It's the step beyond just having a 5-star. Of course, we're going to get the 5-star review, but it's having that emotion where they say, you know what? They even sent me a cookie.
Right.
They love how they live, and I got this cookie. Right. That kind of thing. So I love that. It's that simple, but it's genius. You know?
Yeah, and you've given them a story to tell. It's something different. Right. I mean, nobody wants to talk about their broken plumbing, but man, they did something abnormal that's really stood out. I mean, when I get home at the end of the day, I'm telling my kids and wife about the unusual things that happened throughout the day, not the mundane or frustrating things, but man, when you are delighted by a business, it's a story to tell, and that's something that humans want to do. We want to tell each other unique stories.
And that's where the money is. Okay. So we're turning on the business side. We'll get to business. That's where the money is. When you can do that with your business, create that kind of emotion, and that they, and they have a story to tell, which is I like, you do that. That's the money. That's where you create the wealth.
Right. And the hard thing is sometimes to connect the dots there. Yeah. Because as you grow, you tend to want to, and I'm under this pressure as a marketer myself, is to prove the return on investment on everything in a mechanical way. And sometimes whenever you think back again, what made us successful in the business, in the beginning with our businesses, it was relationships. Well, we couldn't really run a spreadsheet on that. We couldn't really run a report on that back then. And unfortunately, the same is true today. I mean, we can track a lot of our marketing efforts, but a lot of this relationship marketing is very difficult to turn into a quantitative spreadsheet, but that's where the pressure is. And I think that requires someone with vision and leadership to really champion the fact that, hey, we're going to make people feel valued. We're in the people business, and we're going to do what we can to build those relationships and delight people, and the business is going to come. And here's the interesting thing: the business is going to come, and it's not going to be forced. I think you nailed it, that the money is there because it will be organic and viral. And even though you can't run a spreadsheet, the thriving business is now self-sustaining, and you've got customers that are banging down the door because they feel emotionally connected and they're energized by you.
Yeah, I like it. The line from I'm a movie buff, right? I like all the movie metaphors. And from my time, Field of Dreams. I remember the movie with Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams. Yeah, it's just I have to admit that one makes me cry at the end every single time. Dad, do you want to have a catch?
A real man can cry.
Okay, that's right. Okay, but I love the line there where the little daughter says, they will come. And then another guy, character chimes in. Yes, people, they will just come. They will come and gladly hand over their money for the experience.
Yes.
And that's truly what you can create here. I know it's just plumbing. So it's so funny is we're talking about all this touchy-feely stuff.
I know.
But that's where the money is.
Well, we're human. We are human at the end of the day. I mean, we're not mechanical robots that, like, humans have feelings, and we make decisions based on how we feel.
Yes.
It's an emotional decision as to whether we trust somebody enough to come into our home or not. Right. And who we want to pick. I mean, and the funny thing with feelings is they're viral as well. Like how I feel about a company, I'm going to share with somebody else. And that feeling, before you know it, it's permeated all of my sphere of influence. And nobody else even interacted with that company, and so they already have feelings about them. I mean, feelings, it has a big impact in the community.
Exactly. And we talk about that, a lot of us guys on the plumbing side, we come from new construction. And with that, that's a logical decision that's being made. And the new construction and commercial work, it's the bottom dollar.
That's good. Yeah.
And it's nothing about you can't pay off, you can't do enough nice things to get their business. The guys we're seeing right now, right now in the U.S., we're seeing where Doge is going in. We're seeing all this other stuff and the kickbacks and the stuff that's going on. Yeah. That's the stuff that happens in new construction. I mean, starting out, you don't have that kind of money and that kind of influence. Where on the It's an emotional transaction with residential service. And we talk about that. It's not a logical decision that the customer's having. They're having an emotional decision.
Yeah.
And so anytime we can connect with our customers emotionally is a win.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. In the office here, we talk a lot about, you can't push a rope.
Yeah, man up a rope.
You can't force something or force someone to do something. Like the only way is to get on the other side and to pull that rope. I mean, you want to attract people. You want the demand to be from within on their end to want to do business, to want to connect with you because they just hear consistently that you're the best, you're the go-to, and you've got their back.
Right, and doing nice things. Yeah. So on that, there's going to be. And we start out, we think, I know I thought this way, this is a nice to have kind of thing. We're not talking about just a cookie. We're not just giving customers cookies that we did work at.
Yeah.
Even that's what it is, but that's not what we're talking about here.
But it's the means to an end. Yeah.
Right. So we talk about the end, and it's hard to measure that. What have you seen? It's a nice thing to have. There will be some expense. But by the way, those who know, who pays for this? Mrs. Jones pays for it. The customer pays for this, whatever the expense is. But what's the kind of return that you've seen, even though, it's difficult to measure, but what kind of?
Absolutely. That is a great question. So to frame up your question, it's really important to remember, how are you measuring return on investment? Because our initial knee jerk is hard metrics, quantitative metrics, dollars, gross sales. And, I think back to Simon Smart, who is in Arizona. They run a very successful heating and air plumbing company. And he got a response from a customer that he sent cookies to. And this customer was just going on and on saying, how do I get more cookies? Thanks for thinking of me. Nobody's ever done this before. And I was just blown away. And, he pointed out at the end of the day, his heating and air system or his plumbing heater is out in the garage. He's not thinking about it, but when he eats the cookies and he makes a memory with his family, he's sharing it. There's a social connection there. That's what Simon is aiming for. And so when you ask, okay, well, how do we measure? What's the ROI of this program? I think from a marketing perspective, we have to measure this in the sense of how deep of a connection are we making with our marketing? Is it, okay, for instance, if you were going to a community event, would you just pass out flyers and you're measuring the success of that event based on gross sales or number of leads that come back in? Or what if you dreamed up a different vision and said, hey, instead of basing our results on on flyers and leads, let's pass out snow cones and put our brand on them and make the color of the ice, the color of our brand. Maybe it's blue, maybe it's red, whatever it is, but let's put smiles on people's faces and let's get in their photo albums when they're taking pictures of their kids. And whenever those photos make it into their, Google Photos forever, something for them to look back on and remember. So when I measure the success of like being at a community event or a marketing effort, we have to look also at the qualitative impact, the depth of feeling that we can create in somebody, and how well we can attach that to our brand cues, like our logo, our colors, being consistent with all of that. So, there is a metric on, dollars and sales, but I think when it comes to relationship marketing, you're really measuring the depth and the impact of your marketing effort. Was it surface level, or did you actually create feeling in the customer and an emotional bond? And the way you measure that is through comments. You've got to listen to your customers and have some kind of way for them to give you feedback. And the funny thing, Richard, is sometimes people can't even tell you why they feel so great about you. I mean, they might not say, oh, wow, it was the cookie gift package, or it was the way that your CSR cared for me on the phone, but they're going to respond, and you're going to pick up on a pulse with your customer base where they're saying things like, wow, I just feel like you guys really cared. Thanks for being there for me. Or, they might use words like, wow, or I was thrilled, or they'll mention an employee, a technician, by name. I mean, when you see somebody's name mentioned in a comment, that's telling you that they're connecting with you and that something is working well. And so those are the metrics that you're looking for. And it really requires listening.
I love that. I love it, Caleb. It's so there. We could go so deep in that, because that's the thing. And of course, in the Success Academy, and you'll be speaking in a class, and so we'll go deep.
Yeah.
That's fun because
Yeah.
that is the
You can really
thing
dig in.
of getting, it's that emotional connection, and you
Yes.
can't measure that. And it's, you know, can't measure it
Well,
directly. You can get a good feel, on like, the connection in the comments and that kind of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
We do it. We hear things, even hearing things like, wow, you look for words like that. Wow. Caleb did such a great job. That's
Right.
what's it, just a great job. But wow, Caleb, just you hit on those things. That's so important.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of nice, wow, man, that was great.
Or I was
So
surprised.
I was surprised, and then
Yes.
using the name and in a great job, we smile at that. They
Right.
don't know. They don't know plumbing. When they say you did a great job, it's part of that. It's you. We know you provided the experience. It was all. This turned out to be a
Yes.
great time. I felt very good.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're looking for the feelings.
Yeah.
And because again, it goes back to your brand name. What feeling do people have when they hear your name?
Right.
Is it good? Is it energized? Is it neutral?
Yes.
Neutral is the danger zone, really.
Right on.
I mean,
Right.
if you just provided a 5-star experience and met their expectations, I mean, they're in danger of going to somebody else that can provide the same 5-star experience. But
Right.
man, when you bond with them, it's you're unstoppable. They'll always be back. And I even think you can turn a negative into a positive by really caring for people as well.
Oh, we see it time and time and time again. By just meeting
Yeah.
people emotionally, not logically. Logic, you got to
Right.
be there, but meeting them emotion, got to hit that emotion.
Yeah,
Emotional.
again, and I think the challenge is there are pressures that develop as you start trying to systematize your business. You've got to fall in line with, a budget. You've got more input coming from other people, from maybe it's a marketing company that's giving you ideas on what you should do and everything.
Right.
Or maybe it's an employee that's taking over marketing that has fresh ideas. And we need those fresh ideas. But I think, staying centered on, hey, when we design our marketing strategy, we're going to look at it through the lens of strengthening relationships, and we're going to design around that instead of designing around trying to just prove clicks and prove phone calls through tracking numbers. I appreciate all of that, but I think
Right.
that can't tell us whether or not our marketing is effective just because somebody didn't call the tracking number. Well, what impression, what feeling was made? We have to look at the qualitative side of that marketing piece as well. And, we can't, we're at danger of cutting out marketing strategies that can help us build feelings
Yes.
because we can't quantify it on a spreadsheet, instead of looking at it as, wow, we actually have the money now where we can send postcards, and that can help us build feelings in customers, tee up the feelings that we're going to serve. And then when they call up, we deliver on that and we
Right.
start building trust. Wow, these people are who they say they are.
I love it. So on that, I mean, we go on. We're kind of wrapping up on time here. And again, Caleb, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in and speak with us on this. This is so important. We're not talking about just sending cookies. I mean, there's a great cookies. There's important. There's anybody sending a cookie. This is about creating
Yes.
Repeat customers, well, ultimately, which is what we create wealth. Okay.
Yes.
So we're talking to a lot of Potty Talk listeners. Are new, in their businesses, or even ones that aren't. They're kind of in a rut. What do you have? What comes to mind? Nugget of gold or something that you can share about, they're new with their businesses.
Yeah. So I think, I've got 3 little kids at home.
Yeah.
And,
We
2
started.
girls and then a boy, 6, 3, and 6 months old. And, yes, we're busy. We're having a good time, but man, I love them. And I have such a vision for them to be givers in their lives and to do well, to be strong, and I want them, something that I've noticed on inspiring them in life is anytime that I stop and recognize them and appreciate them, it's like, if I notice my 6-year-old daughter, feed the dog, do something on her own, or I see some evidence of, that selflessness in her at times, I really believe in trying to slow down and say, Olivia, I saw you just do this. I just want to say, great job. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate you helping out mom in this way or whatever it is. And I just see her puff out her chest and I see that little smile on her cheek. It's like I just breathed life into her by stopping and appreciating her. And I want to be that kind of dad. And I think we can be that way in our businesses as well, with a culture of appreciation, where it's like, hey, if it's our teammate, of saying, you know what, I recognize that she did this. And I just want to say, thank you so much for going out of your way to really take care of the customer, or, for going above and beyond. I think we need to slow down and recognize people more, all the way to the point of our customers. How are we appreciating they put our trust in us. And so what are we saying in return, and how are we communicating? And I think that culture starts at home, a culture of gratitude and appreciation, and it spills over into how we lead our businesses, and it spills over into how we treat our customers and the ultimate success of our name. And I just know I've got a lot to be thankful for. And that's what I want to emulate. And I could do a better job, but man, at the end of the day, I want to be known for being thankful.
Oh, I love that. Love that, Caleb. I love, first of all, I love that. That's why, now you see why we're doing business with To Your Success, and we recommend them for you, because it's not just about providing a good service or product, but it's the heart of the people and of the business. And I love how you tied the importance of the family and starting at home, and then tying it to our customers. I know a lot of us, starting out, we in the academy, of course, we have a lot in the academy that, their businesses are new, and there's guilt that builds up of not recognizing, of not spending enough time. The business takes a lot, which is the reality to it. So I feel guilty of not spending a lot of time with the family, and we talk about that. There's no such thing as balance. Sometimes it's all family, sometimes it's all work, and you start to do. But the important thing of looking back, of at least saying something like recognizing your children. We can tell you from being on this side of things, Caleb, and our children have grown. We had 3. We had 2 sons and a daughter. When we started our business, same kind of a thing.
Yeah.
They were young like that, 6 months old. In fact, our daughter was 4 months old when we started our plumbing business.
Wow. How about that?
And so we get it. You're in that stage of life, and it's a fun stage of life. But just recognizing your kids, you don't have to spend every moment with them, but the idea of recognizing when they do good things. Yeah. And it does. We've seen that. It does a lot to
inspires
them. I love how you tie that into our customers, on the back end, that we just don't want their money. We want a relationship with them. We all understand this, the money, and we're doing this, and for us to be in business, we need for you to serve it. But you had a choice, and you chose us, and we're thankful. We're grateful that you chose us to serve you. Yeah. And that we want to continue to, and we want to continue to be there for you. And we appreciate if you continue. And so doing something nice and recognizing, trying to hit them on an emotional level.
They sense it. Yes. They really do.
Yep. And
they know whether you appreciate them or could, care less and move on to the next transaction.
Yeah. Love it, Caleb. All right. Hey, Caleb. Hey, guys, check this out. You can go to milliondollarplumber.com /cookie. All right. I'll send you that way to learn more about to your success cookie. All right. I know they also, for Potty Talk listeners, MDP members and all, I know you give some discounts or whatever, savings, make it easier for little guys to get in. So we appreciate that. All right. They'll do that. If you go through that, again, milliondollarplumber.com /cookie to learn more, and just do it. This is a good thing. It's a very good thing. All right. Caleb, appreciate you, brother.
Hey, appreciate you. We appreciate everything you guys stand for and just how you invest in others. So
thank you.
Right here with you.
All right. Hey, we look forward to speaking again. All right.
All right. Thank you, Richard.
Take care, man. All right. There we go, gang. All right. To Your Success. Okay. Check them out. All right. Hey, this isn't just about cookies. Okay. This is about, again, it's a relationship. We spend a lot of time talking around that emotion. That is so important. You want to create, an emotional connection with your customers. You do that, they're customers for life. Okay. It ain't about plumbing. All right. So check them out. There we go. All right. Hey, and if you want to learn more about creating emotion with your plumbing business, as well as other things to, make your business thriving and self-sustaining, we kind of throw that word around there, where it can be able to run without you, and of course, very profitable. All right. Let's have a conversation. All right. We'll have a basic conversation, find out where your plumbing business is at, what's standing in your way, and then give you a roadmap to, move forward. Simply go to milliondollarplumber.com /call. Okay. That is. All right. And schedule your call with one of my success coaches, and we'll go from there. All right. There we go. All right. Hey, it was great spending time with you. Glad you're here. Good stuff here. Okay. Check it out. But as always, before I let you go, I want to remind you that you were purposefully and wonderfully created, and you were created to do great things. So plumb like a champion.